How is it going, everyone? We are coming up on the release of one of the most anticipated PlayStation 5 games of the year. I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say that. While it's not a brand new game, The Last of Us 1 is one of the most iconic and well-received PlayStation games of all time. I'm talking across all PlayStation platforms. I remember the day The Last of Us 1 came out and the subsequent weeks following that, and how well that game was received, not only from critics but fans as well. I know everybody has their opinion on Last of Us Part 2, but Last of Us Part 1, generally speaking, across the board was really well received by just about everyone. I loved the game. It was one of my favorite games of all time, and now we are coming up on the release of The Last of Us Part 1, a full remake of the game built exclusively for the PlayStation 5. The game will be priced at a hefty $70. That has been one of the big talking points surrounding the game. And in this video, I want to take a look at all of the information that you should know about The Last of Us Part 1 before you drop your $70, or maybe a little bit more if you want to buy the Digital Deluxe Edition, or heaven forbid, you do want to buy the Firefly Edition because it's sold out everywhere, but you can go to a little site called eBay and pay some egregious prices. But nonetheless, I imagine most of you guys are going to stick with the Standard Edition, but we'll talk all about it. Not going to get into too many spoilers because while the majority of you guys have probably played The Last of Us 1, I do know that there are probably going to be a few of you guys that are checking out the game for the first time. But let's talk about all of the new features and upgrades that are coming to The Last of Us Part 1 rebuilt for PlayStation 5. Now, a lot of this information comes from a in-depth video that PlayStation uploaded to their official website, as well as their official YouTube channel, The Last of Us Part 1 Rebuilt for PlayStation 5 Features and Gameplay Trailer. It's a 10.5-minute video, and it goes over in-depth features and upgrades regarding The Last of Us Part 1 and what it's going for on the PlayStation 5. Now, obviously, right off the top, it's seeing some significant performance upgrades as well as visual upgrades. This is not a remaster, this is a remake. Last of Us already got a remaster in 2014 on the PlayStation 4, but this, with Last of Us Part 1, it can render at native 4K resolution at a targeted 30 frames per second, or dynamic 4K targeting 60 frames per second. It features PlayStation 5 mainstays with the controller of DualSense, wireless controller haptic feedback, trigger effects, and 3D audio. Outside of just the general upgrades from a visual standpoint, there's a lot going on here under the hood as far as this remake is concerned. As noted on the PlayStation blog, from the art direction to the character models, the entire game has been rebuilt from the ground up to take advantage of a new generation of graphical capability, allowing this game to reach the visual fidelity that the studio aspired for when crafting this experience. The PlayStation 5's powerful hardware drives a host of visual benefits, from denser physics with tons of bumpables and chippables. Bullets, for example, can now rip apart concrete and environmental objects, and cinematics now transition seamlessly to gameplay. You'll notice in the gameplay we've seen thus far of the PlayStation 5 version, there's an added level of immersion when it comes to seeing bullets hitting the wall, or some of the details that you just see on the structure. There's a lot of added emphasis put into that, creating a more immersive experience. On top of that, motion matching technology means that character animations flow more convincingly, intuitively, and realistically. It's just very smooth how the characters move and are animated now, and that's actually one of the main notable things that a lot of people have been pointing out, all adding another layer of believability to the characters and their interactions with the world. Furthermore, AI upgrades mean that characters inhabit the world in a more authentic and realistic way, such as a buddy character navigating cover to avoid enemy NPC sightlines more authentically. These enhancements are all in the name of increasing the game's immersion, but the improvements don't stop there. Naughty Dog has added a couple of features as well, including a permadeath mode, one death you're out, a speedrun focus mode, and a host of brand new unlockable costumes for Joel and Ellie. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, because that is probably one of the cooler aspects of the game that have been introduced. The game also taking a page out of The Last of Us Part 2's book, and a lot of other games these days, adding a host of new accessibility features, making the game more accessible to a larger number of people. It's got over 60 new accessibility options, outpacing what the developer was able to offer with The Last of Us Part 2, and includes a new audio description mode, ensuring that play is rewarding and inclusive for all. The audio description mode was detailed in the video as well, giving you an in-depth description via audio of all of the scenes going on in the game, making it a lot more accessible to those of you that do want to utilize utilize that feature, it's a great addition in my opinion. But the accessibility options don't stop there. There's a colorblind mode. Obviously, there's a lot of variety in the controller options. The alternate control mode is there as well. Visual aids, tweaking of the gameplay as well. There's a combat accessibility section, and on top of that, there's areas for traversal and puzzle options as well, making the game be able to be tailored exactly how you want to play it. Motion sickness assistance and audio options are included as well. And across all of that, again, north of 60 options are going to be featured. So that's something great to see out of the game. And as I mentioned before, on top of the accessibility options, you've got new unlockables with a variety of different outfits, and a lot of those outfits are coming from iconic PlayStation IPs. You're talking about IPs such as God of War, Sly Cooper, Resistance, Shadow of the Colossus, Horizon, Ghost of Tsushima, and many more being represented via costumes and other accessories that are adding a little bit of a cosmetic bonus to the game. And definitely, if you're a fan of PlayStation IPs, it's something cool that is being introduced. On top of that, as I mentioned, permadeath, speedrun mode, and there is also a model viewer that if you just want to enjoy some of the scenery in the game, that'll be available to you as well. That's on top of all of the visual upgrades and refinements that are being made. So that's going to be great to see. And on top of that, they noted we've implemented modernized gameplay, improved controls, and expanded accessibility options in the single-player experience. That is a key component to this, the single-player experience. If you are looking for the multiplayer component to The Last of Us 1, you're not going to find that here. As you guys probably are aware, Naughty Dog is working on a multiplayer component to The Last of Us. However, that is going to be a standalone multiplayer experience. When that's going to drop, we don't know yet, but we do know that has been in development for a little bit at Naughty Dog, and hopefully it's making smooth progress. But you will have the single player, and that will be updated. Effects, exploration, and combat have all been enhanced, leveraging the PlayStation 5's powerful hardware. They've implemented 3D audio, haptics, and adaptive triggers. Both returning fans and new players alike will have the opportunity to experience both The Last of Us Part 1, so you'll have that single player component, and thankfully you'll also have the prequel story in the Left Behind expansion. That'll be available with your $70 purchase as well. Lastly, I do want to talk a little bit about the various editions that are available. I imagine the majority of you guys are going to be picking up The Last of Us Part 1 Standard Edition. That will be $70 USD. That's the MSRP, so yeah, it's expensive. It's the reality of the situation when it comes to these big budget PlayStation titles. $70 seems to be the standard. Rift Apart was $70. Horizon was supposed to be $70. However, the PS4 version got a free upgrade. You guys knew about all the hoopla that went on there. But nonetheless, you know, a lot of different opinions and takes as far as the $70 price tag. Sony, as far as pricing their top tier games, has been a little bit, you know, under fire, with like Spider-Man being $60 on PC, Last of Us being $70. At this point, the price is what it is. I've been pretty vocal about the fact that I think it's a little bit overpriced. Am I gonna play it? Obviously, that's kind of what we do on this channel, but yeah, I could definitely understand why a lot of people are waiting on a sale for the game. And, you know, it's a game that a lot of people have already played over the last few years, and for a lot of people, they already bought the game twice on PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. Nonetheless, that's the base edition of the game. There will be a digital deluxe edition for $80 MSRP. That'll include some in-game bonuses, increased crafting speed skill, increased healing speed skill, reload speed, increased upgrade, rifle clip, a capacity increase upgrade, explosive arrow, gameplay modifier, punk filter, speedrun mode, and 6 weapon skins. And again, the Firefly edition, that is a physical copy of the game. Unfortunately, that is sold out just about everywhere, so you probably would have to buy it from a secondhand seller. That comes with a steelbook case with the full game featuring single player and standalone prequel chapter Left Behind for PlayStation 5. You get the American Dreams comics number 1 through 4 with a new art cover and early unlock of in-game items that we just went over with the digital deluxe. But there you go. That is all the information. Really curious to hear from you guys what your game plan is with The Last of Us Part 1. Is it a title you're going to be picking up day one? I just outlined all the information. I would imagine that ultimately this decision on whether or not you pick up Last of Us Part 1 for $70 is going to be your attachment level to the first game. Again, I would imagine 80 to 90% of the people watching this video have already played Last of Us 1. Did you enjoy the game enough for an upgraded release, a very, very much upgraded release from a visual standpoint? However, with the multiplayer removed, you get Left Behind. It's $70. Did you enjoy Last of Us 1 enough to drop $70 on this PS5 remake? Interested to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. With all that information, I'm sure you guys can make your own decision, so sound off down below. That's gonna do it for me. I'm excited because I was such a fan of the original Last of Us, and just to go through the game again, even though I've probably completed the game about like 8 times at this point, but with these visual upgrades, I'm definitely excited to give it another playthrough. So sound off down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.